There's really nothing special here. It's a different way you're doing things, but there's nothing special here about what I just talked about that's just exclusive for jury duty. You probably recognize this. This is what each of us do when we interact during the day with people. We are, let's say, discussing with people. They're speaking to us and we're listening, and you're doing the same thing you're about to do. You're listening and go, you don't say it out loud, but you go, I'm not going to believe that. I can't believe that because I know better and I've been through that. I have experience, or I agree with that. And you're following along and you're interacting with people, and then you are getting messages and information and making decisions. You interact with people the same way as what you do as a juror. Again, you're drawing your life's experiences, your wisdom, education in making a decision because you weren't present at the event. If you were, you wouldn't be a juror because you're disallowed from being a juror if you're a witness to an event. But you have to determine what the facts are, and that's your job. And you can't say, well, I wasn't there, so I don't know. You've got to put yourself in that position using all of these factors so that you can do your job as the law says you are allowed to do. And how important that is this is the way we make the decisions on cases in trial by people just like you doing the best you can to figure it out. And you will do fine. Very few times do we have problems because the jury work together. 12 of you will work together and figure these puzzles out using all of these factors. Now, the trial is going to proceed in the following way. In just a moment, I'm going to ask the state of Texas to present the indictment, and the defendant shall plead to the indictment. Then the attorneys get to make opening statements, and that is essentially a brief overview of what they expect their positions on this case to be. Because of the presumption of innocence, the accusing authority goes first. Because with the presumption of innocence, if we just didn't have that requirement, the state, now the prosecution presents, we'd just be sitting here staring at each other until the end of time. So the state calls witnesses, right? They'll sit there, they will ask them questions. When they are through, they will pass the witness. The defense has a fair opportunity to cross-examine those witnesses. And at some time, you will hear the state say, we rest. At that time, the defense may or may not present evidence. Sometimes they just say, we rest, and then we can all figure out what's going to happen. The defense, unless they say we're pleading guilty, they're going to argue in final argument. Well, the state did not meet their requirement. They have to prove the elements of this case beyond a reasonable doubt is the test, beyond a reasonable doubt. So if the defense does call witnesses, which they do a lot of times, they will question witnesses. The state has a fair opportunity to cross-examine. And when both parties rest, I will read to you the jury charge, which contains all the law necessary for your deliberations. The lawyers will then make their final arguments. You will go back together into the deliberation room and deliberate on a verdict. At all times, it is your foremost responsibility to make certain that justice is done in this case in accordance with the law the court gives to you and the evidence presented at trial. At this time, I'm going to ask the state of Texas to present the indictment. The defendant shall rise, please. Thank you.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, the grand jurors for the county of Jefferson, state aforesaid, duly organized as such, at the January term AD 2023 of the Criminal District Court of Jefferson County in said county and state, upon oath in said court present that Jaron Battles, hereafter styled the defendant, on or about on this the 18th day of March 2023 and anterior to the presentment of this indictment in the county of Jefferson and state of Texas, did then and there intentionally and knowingly cause the death of an individual, namely Geraldo Escamilla, by shooting Geraldo Escamilla with a firearm against the peace and dignity of the state, signed by the foreman of the grand jury.
Jaron Battles, as defendant in this case, how do you plead to the indictment as just read by the state of Texas? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty will be entered into the record on your behalf. You may be seated. At this time, the state wants to make a motion.
We invoke the rule, Judge.
Okay. Let me tell you what that's all about. And generally, the state or the defense makes a motion and they say, we want to assert the rule. We call that the rule, and that's a shortened form of it. It is the rule which states that witnesses must remain outside and stay outside until they are called for testimony. And also that the witnesses cannot discuss their testimony with each other. And you can understand why that would be important, so people don't get their story straight or together. And we call that the rule of sequestration of witnesses. That means witnesses will remain outside, sequestered outside until they are called, and then they will be testifying without the other witnesses listening. And each attorney is held responsible by law to ensuring that your witnesses understand the importance of the rule. And if the rule is deemed to be violated, then their testimony may not be allowed by the court. And it certainly can be presented to you to consider as you make your deliberations and your important determination of how much weight and credibility witnesses have. We seldom, if ever, have a problem on this rule because the lawyers, these are good lawyers, and they do a good job in following the rules. We shouldn't have a problem, but each of these rules in a trial have a step-by-step method. And I like for the jury to understand so that you can later say, you know, that trial was not anything like those Law and Order television shows, because you are being part of, this is the real world, the way it really works. And so it's a very good insight that you get now. You're more knowledgeable about the way it really works.
Judge, I'm going to ask you to go one step farther. We're on mute right now on YouTube, but I know this is being broadcast on YouTube. So if you can instruct, if there are any witnesses that are out there that have YouTube on, that they are not allowed to watch any of the testimony or any of the trial while that rule is in effect.
All right, I'm going to ask the lawyers to make sure you pass that request. That's allowed. Marcus?
I
And
just ask you if anybody's watching right now, Judge, that you say on the record that they're not allowed to.
yeah, these trials and the events that happen in this courtroom are presented in YouTube, but don't be upset. Jurors are never shown by law. You're not shown. We've got 3 cameras. They're pointed at that chair. They're pointed at the lawyers, and they're pointed at me. 3 cameras. And the people who are possibly witnesses in this case who may be watching YouTube, it would be a violation of the rule for you to testify and be watching YouTube, because that may give you information that would question your credibility. So those of the people who are watching YouTube who are witnesses, turn that off immediately so that when you take the oath to tell the truth, you won't be perjuring yourselves. We started YouTube back during 2020, during COVID, and people were not coming to courts, and they enjoyed coming to courts, but they were sequestered at home. And when all that passed, they go, you know, that YouTube, we can stay at home and watch, and I don't have to spend gas money to come to the court. And we got 50,000 people watching this at any given time. It's an amazing thing. And I don't watch, I'm not into YouTube, and I'm not social media, which is a good thing for judges to work that rule, because those things can conflict with what we do up here. But I know we have a following of people who want to see the way things are really done, and they're unable to get here. Many of them are bedridden, or they're hospital, or they're at home. And it makes it something that they can understand better and see how it really works. And it's a great method of informing people. But we got to be very careful the way we do it. And again, jurors are never, you're never seen the way it's done. We've got it figured out. So the jurors don't worry, do not worry about this at all. All right, the rules are set in motion and the state may proceed.
Thank you, John. May I please court,
Go ahead.
counsel? Good morning. So all this is not an argument, okay? This is, arguments are for later on after the evidence is produced. All I'm doing is I'm going to kind of give you a roadmap of what to expect. And first of all, I want to get your expectations at the right level. Everybody watches Law and Order, crime show TVs where they have courtrooms and everything goes smoothly because all the witnesses are all lined up and they're just right there. And then you have those trials that are real trials where human beings have lives, they have doctor's appointments, they have, some of them work out of town, some work out of the state, some of them are sick, some of them are having trouble getting here or just having issues. So I'm going to present this in a fashion that I hope it's coherent, because this is, when you see this, you're going to see when the officers looked at it, it was total chaos. Okay, I expect you, when you see this, I expect the evidence is going to show y'all that this really started sometime like in March 17th instead of March 18th, because there was a bunch of people that were going to a concert, kind of a performance over at the Jazz and Jokes down here downtown on Orleans Street. And afterwards, there was going, one of the people that was going was named Devondrick Berry. He goes by D Berry. He does rap music and pretty kind of locally famous around here. Everybody kind of knew him. So he's from Orange, and he has a bunch of people that he brought, a few people in a party van. And they were coming over to watch the concert, and afterwards they all ended up at a place called D Money Daiquiris, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Nothing wrong to start the night off with. Everybody's just kind of getting picked up by this van. I think there was some miscommunications, and some had to be picked up a little bit later than others, but they get in the van and they all end up in Beaumont from Orange. They come here just to watch the performance, kind of hang out with each other, and everything's going fine. At the club, there's a little incident maybe between one of the individuals in the party van and the victim in this case. That was something that was going on there, but later on it became a little bit more. So they all end up through I think the performance was around close to midnight, and they end up over at D Money Daiquiris. And what you're going to see happened around 3:00 in the morning on March 18th. Everything's closed. This is over on, if you don't know where D Money Daiquiris was back in 2023, it's closed down since then. But if you are on Phelan and Dallin, one side, if you head towards that, it's Burger King, McDonald's, and you know, all that stuff down that way. And if you turn right, there's an apartment complex right there at the corner of Dallin and Phelan. And then next to it, there's a shopping center, has a Little Caesars Pizza, has Deb's Liquor. And it used to have a Mediquick place right there on the corner. And it's just a normal little shopping strip, but it had this one little lounge in the middle. And you're going to hear officers talk about how many different calls they had to go to that lounge because there were issues there. So about 3:00 in the morning, there's some calls for service from the police department to come out to the surrounding apartment complexes and businesses at D Money Daiquiri. And the reason they're coming out there is because the cars have filled up the parking lot. Now they've spilled over into the apartment complex, the grass all around, and they're parking in there. The manager in the apartment complex is calling, trying to get people to come out there and get them off of her property. You're going to hear that the party van pulled in and was parked inside the parking lot of where D Money Daiquiris is, just inside the entrance part. You're also going to hear that the victim and his friend were in the pickup truck. They actually ended up in that parking lot also. And they got out and they were just kind of milling around talking to different people. They actually went separate ways for a while. At some point during the night, about 3:07 or 3:10, somewhere, I forget the exact time, but somewhere after 3 o'clock, somebody came to get Armando Camargo, who is friends with Mr. Escamillo. They said, your friend's having some issues over here. You might want to come get him before he gets hurt. So he goes to get him. You're going to hear that he gets him getting back into the truck, and he's got a bunch of people. There's some issues going on, and there's a bunch of people around. And so just in case, because he's scared a little bit, he's going to tell you that he takes his gun out from where he has it holstered and lays it in his lap because he doesn't know what's fixing to happen. Nobody at that parking lot stays when this happens. Okay, so you need to know that this isn't like a real world, like Law and Order. This is real world stuff where whenever something happens, everybody scatters and nobody talks. So everybody's in the parking lot. You're going to see a video of of D Money Daiquiris that's pointing just off away from where the shooting is, but it's showing the crowd. You're going to get to see what the crowd looked like out there, what they were doing. Everybody's just having a good time. Matter of fact, you don't see anybody with guns and doing anything dangerous. Everything out there seems to be okay. They're laughing, they're talking, having fun. It's not good to be out 3 o'clock in the morning on somebody else's property, but they weren't doing anything horrible. Okay, they're just having a good time. Then you're going to see them suddenly duck and start running. You're going to see police officers. You're going to hear first of all from Officer John Harrell. Goes by Matt, but his name is John Harrell. And John Harrell was with Beaumont Police Department. He's now up with the Jasper Sheriff's Office. He got called out there to go get some of those cars moved before they get towed. So you'll see him talking to the apartment manager on his body cam. You're going to see on his body cam how he walks down. And he's just kind of telling people, you know, you're going to get towed if you don't move. And he's just wondering. And then when he gets to a certain point, that little black car that he's about to try to see who owns this, you're going to hear the gunshots going. And this is right across the street from D Money Dak. You're going to get to see Officer Harrell as he tries, just like anybody else, what is going on? Because total chaos broke out. You're going to hear about all the shell casings, but you're going to hear all the gunfire. And it sounds like a war is going on at D Money Daiquiri. Officers kind of trying to figure out what's going on, who's shooting, who's doing what. And you're going to hear Officer Harrell describe on his radio call who he sees shooting, which is 2 individuals, one who's dressed all in red, one who's dressed in a red top and white pants, and that they jump into this party van that came from Orange. It's a Mercedes Sprint van, as they call them. They're big box vans. They jump in. You're going to see on his car cam, as the van pulls out, he gets right behind it. He follows it. Nobody gets out except one person. I'll talk about that in a minute. But they stop him right after that and get everybody out. The 2 that went in, match the description, came out dressed exactly the same. He identified both of them, saying, you know, those 2 are the shooters. Okay? So, sounds simple, doesn't it? 2 other officers that were there also see somebody all in red shooting and going back and shooting from the party van, getting in the party van. They don't see the guy with the white pants on. And the guy with the white pants on, I'm going to tell you right now, is this defendant right here, Jeremy Bax, okay? That's the one Officer Harrell saw shooting also with the other man in red. So they pull the van over. As the van stops and is sitting there for a while, you're going to see on the front car cam, a 16-year-old by the name of Quan Cooper comes jumping out of the van, and he's holding his hands like this, and he's running off across. And a police officer, you'll see a police officer chases him down in their truck, and they stop him, and they find 3 guns on him. You're going to see the officers trying to get everybody out of the van. There's actually, in total, I think there were all about 14 people in that van. I think only 7 came over, but a bunch jumped in with the van with everybody. So when they get them all out, later on, they're going to search that van. You're going to find out that there were, I think, D. Berry had a gun, his wife had a gun. There was a Draco in there that belonged to somebody else who doesn't match any of the shell casings. You're going to find out that there was a gun in the side holster. There was a gun, and the driver had it in his pants. There was another gun stuck up under a seat or back behind the seat. There's going to be in total, you can see there's 8 guns. Actually, I think 9 guns, including the Draco, that came out of this. And we're going to, and so you look at it and you wonder how this all gets sorted out. So they get them all out, bring them back. And of course, everybody in the van says, I didn't shoot. I didn't see anybody shoot. I don't know who had guns. The only one I had guns was the people that was deburied his wife. That's the only 2 I knew that had guns. But there's guns everywhere in that van. And the 3 that ran out. So what do? Get them all in and talk to them, see if we can get anybody to talk. Nobody talks. Everybody says, I don't know what happened. Except for one individual, the guy in all red. He admits to shooting a gun. And he admits to shooting it over he said he shot it over the truck. He didn't shoot it at the truck, but he was shooting as he was running. The officers were right about that. And then they saw, Officer Harrell saw the other one too. So we talk to everybody and we start gathering all the ID people show up. You're going to get to hear from Carol Hargroder, Lindsay Rowe, Annette, oh my gosh, Anessa Barnett. You're going to get to hear from them as they came out to the crime scene. And you're going to get to see the pictures of where all the shell casings were. You're going to get to see they were in 3 groups. And the way I did this, the way I'm going to do this is I'm trying to divide this up with the officers kind of setting the scene of what happened. Okay. Then we'll get the ID techs to come in and show you where all the shell casings were. And there's 3 different parts of this. And I'll tell you why. The shooting, yes, we're going to get all the shell casings. Then there's the van that had guns and stuff in it. Okay. And then down the road, you find that the car that was being shot at, which involved Mr. Escamilla and Mr. Camargo, was broken down right in front of Burger King over on Phelan Drive. And when the police get there, there's some ladies that go and help. But when the police get there, Mr. Camargo is being transported by his wife, I think, to the hospital to try to get somewhere. He calls the police, tells them where he's going. But Mr. Escamilla is laying dead in the truck with a bullet hole to the head. You're going to find that whenever they counted it, there was about 27 bullet holes that hit that truck. When they do the ballistics, which you're going to hear from Brandy Henley doing ballistics, 5 of the guns that were in the car van, 3 of them that Mr. Cooper had, the little juvenile that ran with him, Jaquan Cooper, and 2 others that were still inside that van, match ballistics for all the shell casings, most of the shell casings out there. There's some shell casings, I think about 14 or 15 that are unaccounted for. And with all those people out there, there's no telling what will happen. But the majority of those shell casings that came from that area where the party van was, that's what matches the 5 guns inside. So then they take everybody and they swap them. And you're going to find that the 2 shooters, Mr. Armani Wallace and Mr. Jaron Battles, both had 1 particle of gunshot residue. Mr. Armani Wallace had one on his right hand. Mr. Battles had a gunshot residue on his left sleeve of his hoodie that he was wearing. With the officer's testimony saying that I saw that person shooting, with the ballistics matching the guns in there and nobody claiming the guns, but the ballistics matching all those, and with the gunshot residue, I think you're going to have an easy task of figuring out at least 2 of the shooters. I know there were more, but at least 2 of the shooters you can tell were a party to this offense. And remember, we talked about parties. If you participated in it, if you did some of the act trying to do it yourself with all those bullets hitting, with all those shell casings, with all those bullet holes in the truck, it's pretty obvious who was shooting and who was trying to do what and why there was a lot of parties in this case. Thank you.
Mr. Wilkerson, do you want to make an opening statement now?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may.
Please, court, counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Most of what you heard is pretty matter of fact. I will note, because we talked about language and the implications of how we think in language, that the state identified Mr. Mr. Battles and Mr. Wallace as the shooters. And yet you've heard that there were a number of firearms. There were literally scores of fired bullets, right? Officer Harrell's going to tell you that he saw Jaron Battles and identified him by the clothing that he was wearing. What you didn't hear from the state's attorney is that inside that BMW Sprinter, there were a number of red hoodies thrown on the floor. The defendant didn't take off his red hoodie. You'll hear that he was identified in part because of his white or light colored pants. And yet you'll learn that there was at least one other individual with light colored pants on. So you're going to be asked to accept Officer Harrell's testimony, and you'll see his body cam footage when he turns. Everybody's kind of hitting the ground. He glances into this chaos for a split second and is able to identify the defendant. And you'll have to weigh that testimony against the chaos that you will see on the security footage. You also heard that Mr. Camargo put a gun, according to him, in his lap or in the center console. What you'll hear is that the decedent came out from inside the performance area and is milling around the parking lot, threatening and instigating trouble, right? Trying to fight somebody. So then his friend comes out because apparently somebody in the group of people who came to the performance in the BMW Sprinter knows the decedent and his friend. So somebody tells his friend that tells Mr. Camargo that he needs to take care of his friend, the decedent, who is trying to instigate a fight with somebody. Right? So Mr. Camargo tries to wrangle his friend, the decedent, into the truck, eventually succeeds in doing so, and then goes around, gets inside the vehicle. You'll learn that somebody hollered gun. And it was after somebody hollered gun that the shooting began. So first, you'll have to determine whether or not there is enough evidence to support that this defendant fired shots. But then you're going to have to figure out if there is enough evidence for you to believe that he was indeed one of the shooters that night, one of many, many shooters, right? And you were just discussed the law of parties again, right? And in Bordier, we talked about the getaway driver, for instance, right, of a vehicle. You'll learn that there are very few people charged in this incident. You'll then have to determine whether or not, if you believe this defendant fired shots, if those shots were fired in defense. Because if somebody hollers gun when somebody is trying to attack other individuals and has to be wrangled, extremely intoxicated into a vehicle in order to prevent a violent encounter, and then a gun is produced, things go sideways. And this is an example of when everybody runs around with guns, people get shot. That's just how it is. Now, you may not like the fact that everybody on that BMW Sprinter had a firearm. I don't particularly. But in Texas, as long as you're not committing an illegal act, carrying a firearm is legal if it's properly holstered. You will learn that they were able to tie various guns to different individuals, but weren't able to tie a particular firearm to this defendant. And so, at the end of it all, those are the choices that you'll be facing. So look forward. I know you'll listen intently to the evidence. Look forward to presenting.
Call your first witness, Steve.
Officer John Carroll.
Report, please. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. Thank you.
He's good. The chair for me. It's kind of big chair. Are you having trouble with it again?
Yeah.
Got it. Can you state your name for the jury, please?
John Harold,
And where do you work?
Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked for them?
About two minutes.
Okay. Before that, were you a peace officer with any other agency?
Yes. On
Who?
my police department,
How long did you work for them?
about 3 years.
Before that, were you anywhere else?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Back in March 18th, 2023, were you an officer with the Beaumont Police Department?
Yes, I was.
And what were your duties back then?
I was assigned to patrol. We handle all calls for service from wrecks, 911 calls. and that.
You also get calls about cars being parked in grass? So that morning about 3 a.m. were you dispatched to go somewhere to kind of help crowd control?
Yes, sir. Well, the main complaint that night was the trespassing.
Okay. Where was that at?
I was at the D Money's, I can reference my report. D Money's daiquiri, which is no longer open, located at 655 Cleveland.
Okay. Was the trespassing there at that particular place, or was it around the edge of that?
It's around the edge.
Okay. What was the purpose of the complaint?
The manager of the apartment complex did not like, everybody parking on the property. So they're taking up 10 spaces, parking in the grass. This facility was open late at night, and the parking lot was empty, so. But they gathered large crowds, so it was often, we were there every weekend dealing with large crowds, parking wherever.
Had you had complaints out there before?
Yes,
How many? Many or a few?
maybe.
And was it always something involving the apartment complex, or was it always around D Money Daiquiri?
It was around the money daiquiri, the crowds that just.
What type of calls would you get from there?
Was driving, shots fired, all manner of weapons violations, loud noise.
Did you personally make any other arrests out there in that area? Okay. Before I forget, is this scene where all this occurred, was it in Beaumont, Texas?
Yes, it was.
Is that in Jefferson County, Texas?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So when you arrived, what was the scene like out there?
Much like every weekend, there was a large crowd, people hanging out in the parking lot, food truck, not uncommon for that area at that night. Lots of people showing up after the bars closed. For some reason, this place was always open. And people would come there. And,
So would D Money Daiquiri stay open after bars would close, or was it just a parking lot? They stayed open? Could they serve alcohol?
I don't believe legally. We had pushed things up to the TABC in the past. TABC was aware of the situation.
Okay. So about how many people would you say were out there?
200-300.
It was a lot, wasn't it? So while you're out, what were you doing after talking to the apartment manager? What was your purpose out there?
trying to keep people to get their cars to them, to be honest. We were kind of letting everybody be known that she was towing cars. There was a record on site. And, trying to keep everybody from getting in trouble,
Like just out there keeping the peace.
you know.
And you weren't out there trying to arrest anybody or look up license plates or do anything horrible, were you?
As,
While you're out there doing this, did something occur that caught your ear and your eye?
yes,
What happened?
there's multiple shots fired within about 80 yards of me. I was able to turn, I saw two individuals wearing red firing into a crowded area. Wanted to take cover, put all the cars, they just left because I told them to move before they got towed. I was kind of in the field by myself.
So you get people out your way that you're being nice and they want your cover.
There's my cover.
Okay. So what did you do to go get the cover?
I started making my way back towards my patrol vehicle. While trying to keep an eye on the crowd. I was able to get back to my vehicle, which was about 30, 40 yards away.
Okay. So while you're moving, you're constantly keeping an eye on the crowd.
Yes.
Why?
Looking to not get ran over by a car, looking for other shooters, looking for anything to help us out.
You say other shooters. What do you mean other shooters? Did you see shooters there that night?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How many shooters did you see personally?
Saw two.
So when you were over on the side street there where the apartment complex is,
Yes,
and when the shooting started, was your attention immediately drawn towards the crowd?
yes, sir.
And while you're looking, did you see individuals that were shooting?
Yes, I did.
And what were they dressed in?
Red. There were the
Okay.
only people wearing red.
Okay. Now, were there other people in the parking lot wearing red? Or did you notice?
I didn't see anybody wearing that much red.
Okay. Well, right there in that area where the shooting was occurred, was there anybody else wearing red? So were these the only two individuals that you saw? Did you actually see flashes from the gunfire?
Yes,
And did you see it from both people?
yes.
So when they're moving, where did they move towards?
Was that,
Where were they moving towards?
well, I ran before they moved. We did, I didn't personally see them move.
Okay.
I was told on the radio, another officer saw them run into the black van that
Okay.
pulled up.
Was that for Hodges or?
I believe it was.
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
It's just a presence in prison.
A witness can relate what he saw and heard in this particular context. Overruled.
So you heard that shooter or the shooters went into the van. Okay. And so that's important because why? What did you do next?
Well, the black van left. It was the biggest thing in the parking lot. And I was able to get behind it before it even left Franklin Street. Started the traffic stop, get them pulled over.
So it's still, you can still see it in the parking lot coming out.
Yes.
And somebody just told you the shooters jumped in there. And so you got behind it.
Yes.
And did you stop the van?
I did.
What is the purpose when you stop that van? What is your purpose to getting people out or getting everything under control?
Situation like that, what we do is called a felony stop.
Okay.
Stop a vehicle, a very distance in a traffic stop. And then we call them out at gunpoint, one at a time. We want the driver out first, the vehicle is moved. And then we start calling out people until the vehicle's empty.
What is the purpose of calling them out one at a time?
It increases safety for us and for them. It keeps everything in order. It's just a safety issue.
Let's kind of set this for the jury because I want them to know. What did you just witnessed?
Homicide.
Yeah, at the point you didn't know it was a homicide at that point, did you? But you just witnessed what?
Shooting.
Yeah, how big of a shooting?
Pardon.
And so when you're pulling this van over, what's everybody's intention here? Do we know who the shooters are or whether they're violent to other people? Do we?
We just assume. I was pretty worried I got shot.
The purpose is because you just had this big shooting and you've got everybody in there. Is your purpose to make sure they don't get hurt and you don't get hurt?
Yes, safety for everybody.
This is important because that's why you call them out one at a time, isn't it?
Yes.
And when they come out all at once, what does that create?
It creates an issue. Creates a big safety issue.
So let's talk about them. Did they come out one at a time like they were supposed to?
They did not.
How did they come out of the van?
Kind of all at once.
Were they first obeying commands?
Not really. They were kind of wandering around for a second.
Does this make sense to you? When you're,
Never happened before, and hasn't happened to me since.
how many police officers are standing here with guns on people?
At least 4.
And are they in a big hurry to do what y'all ask them to do?
No.
Matter of fact, is there one person we're gonna see on the video that just kind of wanders over and doesn't want to do anything?
Yeah.
What does that create for everybody else in the whole area with the police officers and all the other people?
It's incredibly unsafe. We have to start firing. I think would definitely be a bad situation for everybody involved.
And are we also going to see people while y'all have guns pointed and getting people out of the van? Is there a convenience store back behind where you're pointing your guns?
Yes, there is.
Does that create a risk with everybody back there?
Absolutely.
And are there cars just stopping and getting out and going into the store and doing what they want to do right there by where the van is?
Yes.
Does that create a risk?
Yes.
So what does that do to a police officer when he's got to be careful of crossfire, he's got to watch all these people, and he's also got to make sure he's safe and they're safe?
Do the best you can with what you have.
Did y'all finally get them, but mainly one at a time, to come back to y'all to where y'all could get them, cuff them, and kind of see what's going on?
Yes.
After you get them back to you, what did you do next after all the people are back and they're all locked up as far as cuffs and they're all secured?
Once they're cuffed, they're searched, patted down for weapons, stuff like that.
Okay. Was anybody carrying a weapon?
Yes.
Who?
If I can reference my notes.
Sure.
Report, I removed a firearm off of the driver of the vehicle, Mr. Ryan Hessler.
Okay.
I moved one gun off of him.
Okay. Now, that gun that you removed off of him, where was it located?
It's actually fallen out of his waistband, was stuck inside of his
It
leg.
kind of fell down inside?
Yes.
Okay. And when you got it, did you check it to make sure it was secure?
Yes.
What was important about what you noticed about that gun when you checked it to make sure it was secure?
The chamber was empty, but there were rounds missing from the magazine.
Okay. But the chamber was empty. Why is that important?
Reason to believe that weapon probably was not used just now.
Okay. If somebody's continually firing and they don't clear theirs before they put it in their pocket or whatever, which was there really much time with all the
No.
chaos going? Okay, so if they put it in there, if the round is not in the chamber, does that generally signify that wasn't a gun that was used
Yes.
recently? Okay. But you took it off of them, right? What kind of gun was it?
My notes, it was a Taurus 9mm black and green color.
Is a what?
It was a Taurus 9mm,
Okay.
model TH9C. That is serial number if you want.
Glasses. Sad. Taurus 9mm. What was the serial number?
Lincoln William 92061.
This. Show me. No. That's exactly right. Thank you. So let me show you Market States Exhibit 7. And I apologize, I wasn't going to use this at this point. Oh. I need to go. Go ahead and look that. No, it's not, somebody said it. It's just on my bed. Oh, that's hard. Just go. I'll show it all over. No. No, I wasn't going to do this. Okay. Thank you. I'll apologize to the bailiff's judge because I planned on doing this with one of the ID techs, but since he took the gun, I just suddenly decided to do it real quick. I'll get the others clear before we introduce them. Sorry, Kendall. Thank you. Oh. Now let me tell you that exhibit 7. See if that looks like gun 2 recovery.
Manual, sure. This is it.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Interstate 7 in its content.
Now it had a magazine in, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. This name's on here, it's not. You gave it to that, okay. He had the serial number written down. That's what we did, serial number. No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
So this was laying down inside of his pants, and it has like a light on it that was attachment to it. Is that right?
I don't recall.
Okay. And then it had the magazine,
Yes.
and you said it was missing some.
Yes, it was not a full magazine.
Oh.
That's not uncommon.
So also, I forgot to cover something, my partner reminded me, right before, after you stopped the van, before you got everybody out, did somebody get out of the van?
Yes.
And who got out of the van?
It was a juvenile.
A juvenile. Where'd he go?
Took off. He ran parking lot 10 feet, a large parking lot. He took off towards the old gym.
And when he took off, did he look kind of funny the way he was running?
Yes, he wasn't running with normal stride, so make it straight. He wasn't running. He was running with his hand in the pocket of his hoodie. Running.
It looked like he's trying to keep something from falling out. And did you kind of keep an eye on him as he kind of both van and see where he's going? And did you see somebody go after him?
Yes, yes. One of our officers lit up and followed him and took him in custody.
He took off, I think he was following him in a pickup truck,
Right,
right?
so the canine.
Okay. So let's do this, before we go any further. Were you wearing your body cam?
Yes, sir.
Where does your body cam usually sit under your body?
At that time, it was up here somewhere, like in this pocket.
Some people have them here, some up here.
That's all preference.
Different places. When your body cam, how does that work? How do they turn on?
We activate with a press button, or we turn on your lights, the emergency lights, still activate itself automatically as well.
So that night, do you remember how you turned yours on?
Do not.
Okay. But it was working.
It's worse.
Matter of fact, you watched it this morning, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. When you do, just so the jury knows, when you push the button, does the recording back up 30 seconds when you upload it?
Yes, every camera is usually set for a minute or two prior. So no sound, but video. So when you turn it on, that's when the sound starts.
Okay, so when you turn it on, that's when the sound starts, but it backs up, so you've got like 30 seconds of video and then the sound begins. Okay. So let me show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. You watched that in my office this morning,
Yes, sir.
and on this is your body cam. Is it fairly accurate to depict everything that happened with your body cam?
Yes.
Okay, on March 18th, 2023.
Yes.
Okay, there's also on here, do you have a front mounted camera on your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
And how does that come on?
It's usually activated at the same time your body camera is. You turn it on, also with the lights.
Okay. So when your front camera comes on, does it have sound ever?
No, usually not.
Died until February and April of this year. A whole year goes by. Does that for the lab work takes a year to do?
Sometimes, but yes.
Man. All right, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, a third degree felony because you have at least two prior DWI convictions. And this 26 CR 291, it's a third degree felony. You were looking at no less than no more than 10 years confinement in prison, and a fine of $10,000 can be assessed. Do you understand what you're looking at?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then apparently they drug tested you on that event when you were stopped for DWI, and you had cocaine in your system, which is not a wise thing. And that is a state jail felony. But because you have a burglary of a building in 2010 conviction, a state jail, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, state jail in 2010. And after that, those two, then you have another state jail conviction out of this court in 2018. It gets enhanced from a state jail felony. I think it's a third degree felony, or is it second? It's third. We've got two sets of state jail felonies but it doesn't say it's in sequence, but I think it has to be. It has to be in sequence, doesn't it? To be a second.
No, sir. No, to be a second, you've got to have TTC felonies. State jail felonies do not have to be in sequence. You
So-
just have to have two to make a third.
At the end of the day, these two cases look as though you were facing third degree felonies, which is up to 10 years in prison in each case that can run on top of each other. So you're looking at 20. You understand? You look completely lost. And I'll say this is easy to understand. So whether you respond or not. What are we going to do today, then?
She'll be receiving the announcement document.
Probation.
Got it.
Do you have like a drug patch or something like that? You have to wear? That's on. Okay. When was the last time that was tested?
I switched it out yesterday.
Yesterday.
I switched it out yesterday, but they told me it was kind of like open or something, that it was exposed or something. They couldn't test it out because it was kind of open. This is the new one they put on. Yesterday it was kind of like they had a little part that was open, so they couldn't, test it.
Was there on this DWI, was there alcohol involved, or was it exclusively cocaine?
They said, so
I'm truly, I don't understand a word you're saying. It's gibberish over there. God bless you.
what was alcohol? Yes, sir.
Was there alcohol involved? What was the alcohol on this? Yours.
.096.
Okay. Okay. So do you have a device that you have to blow in before you operate your car?
Okay, I ain't got no vehicle. They told me I had to have one. I called up here.
If you drive any motor vehicle, you have to have a device that you blow in.
They told me that, but
Well,
they told me
I didn't tell you that. I'm ordering that if you operate a motor vehicle, because of this alcohol, you have to have a device that you can blow into that tests you for alcohol before the ignition will start.
Okay, so
Don't operate a motor vehicle without that. You don't operate a motor vehicle, you don't need it. But if I catch you operating a motor vehicle and you don't have it, then your bond would be revoked. We couldn't trust you to be driving a 4,000 pound missile irresponsibly. And you could sit it out in jail until we can resolve this.
Just for
okay.
clarification for probation, he has the drug patch on. He said he changed it yesterday, but they couldn't check it because of the lift. Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
was.
we're gonna test him
Okay,
just to be on the safe side.
yes.
Do you know how you're gonna do it? Yeah, and generally when people say that, they're right, but we're gonna just, yeah, we're prepared and but that's what we're subject to because of this mess you're in. Don, these things, let's see. One of these is the February of this year. So what are we waiting on? Where are we heading on?
Just need to announce on docket. This is our first appearance.
Okay, is 4 weeks good on this? It's gonna be, okay, reset 4 weeks. I get a resetting and then
I think this
you're
is
gonna take.
Sunday, setting those.
Christopher Salinas.
He was here.
Christopher Salinas is called 23 CR 1792. There is no answer in the courtroom. I am asking the bailiff to call into the hall for Christopher Salinas.
Yeah, she did it. Well, it's out here for.
You shouldn't be running over and missing the board.
Yeah. There he is. He's here. He had a misdemeanor as well.
Okay, this is a state jail felony, which means you are looking at up to 2 years in the state jail. I don't see any prior conviction. Does he have any prior conviction? He's eligible for probation. Don?
He does have prior convictions.
Yes, there's
to my
not a
knowledge.
large.
We just, just met this morning and he was trying to give me a history. But I couldn't determine if they are actually final convictions or not. So that's why I'm asking.
Computer ought to tell us, right?
I have a third degree felony in 2007,
In 2007?
Yes.
For
possession of a controlled substance.
what?
It was cocaine. I was in high school.
Was that made of? It's still illegal if you're in high school.
Yeah,
right?
I was a kid. I
Did,
was just,
What
That's all,
grade were you
yeah,
in?
Judge.
I was a senior. I got kicked out of my senior year.
why? Because of this?
Because of that. But I still graduated.
Um, no, you were magna cum laude, weren't you?
No,
Lordy, how come? This is what they.
that's more likely.
No, he's a smart guy. All right, so. What are we gonna do on this one?
Again, that's pronounced.
Is 4 weeks good?
Yes, sir.
And what county was that conviction out of?
I was out of Starr County.
Star, STAR. Okay, and
Focused on the.
what was the punishment on it? What'd you
They
get?
have gave me 3 year probation. Upon the 3 years, almost to completing the full 3 years,
It was revoked?
I was revoked. I ended up doing a 7 month safety and another 2 year probation.
Was it deferred or regular probation? Were you found guilty?
Yes.
You have a conviction?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks like regular probation.
Well, which means you're not eligible for probation again in a felony in the States. So that's why this has, you're not eligible for regular probation with a prior conviction from a jury. And a jury can't give deferred or unadjudicated probation that they don't have that authority. So that kind of closes off some doors of opportunity. Anyway, what we're gonna do, we set it for 4 weeks, get a resetting and just have a seat right here. Okay?
I was trying to convince my lawyer.
Go ahead,
Getting a
yes.
DNA test.
A what?
Um,
DNA test?
Yeah, because.
Why? Why do you need a DNA
When I
test?
was a kid, I was taken away from my real family.
Oh, okay. Let's worry. that's something that's important.
Yeah.
Let's worry about your freedom right now so that you
Okay.
can take care of familial issues. This is ought to be your first issue, making sure that you figure out a way to navigate around prison.
I mean,
In this case,
I was just trying to get
Or else
my
family
real name.
we'll just come visit you in the jail, in prison, which is one way to do it, but he can give you advice. He's a smart guy. But anyway, I'm going to give you a resetting 4 weeks and just have a seat right there. Felix Benoit was reset. Brent, I've got Ernest Thomas. Looks like 2 cases. Right here. Not over this. See, 1. Okay. 23. I'm 3. That's an old one. Good Lord. That thing's 3 years. This one was indicted February 1st of 23. Failing to comply with sex offender registration. That is a 3rd-degree felony, carrying with it up to 10 years in prison. By the way, you are registered properly. Then you've got 25 CR 340. That was indicted over a year ago, 3rd-degree felony obstruction or retaliation, which carries with it up to 10 years in prison on that one. And then we've got 26 CR 465, a more recent indictment of March of this year, state jail felony of illegal possession of a controlled substance. Okay, was it announcement today? You're looking at her. What?
We got reset, I guess, to show up first.
Is this the one with the drug patch? Oh, there was a note about some drug patch issues with him, Judge, so I'm not sure of the status on that.
Okay. What about, do you have a drug patch? Right now?
I'm sure they took it off. Yeah, the nurse took it off. I need it because I had a big old irritation on.
Okay, all right. What are we gonna do today?
So it sounds like there was an issue with the judge, so he needs to be ordered to get it back on if it was taken off.
I'm talking about disposition.
Set for trial in a couple of weeks.
Oh, it's set for trial.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So today was just to deal with the drug patch
Okay,
issue.
when are we trial?
6/22.
27.
This week, this month. All right, which one are we going? Yeah. Sex offender registration?
That one is the oldest one, Judge, so I would assume we try that one first.
Are you registered now on the sex offender program? And then. The Okay, what about this obstruction and retaliation? Which one? They're both of those are, each of these are 33 felonies
Yes, sir. I'm thinking the.
Are there any other
registers? Oh,
that are not listed in the indictments. And is he eligible for probation in front of a jury?
yes, sir, there are priors. And there
And
is
these
a
are-
prior felony conviction.
Say that again.
There is a prior felony
Of
conviction,
what?
sexual assault in 2012.
Okay, do you know about that? You
Well,
know,
I mean, it has to have.
well, what are we gonna do about notifications so that that can be?
The state will file the
enhanced?
judge. Yes, sir. The state will file the enhancement.
Yes, he wants a trial on this, let's go on that one. And we'll get this thing,
Which one?
Failure to register.
Make sure it's clearly for him.
let me just go. So that will then enhance. What degree felony is it, you know,
The failure to register,
his conviction?
I think it's the second.
Is this new failure is a third degree?
it was a second degree.
Okay, so it enhances, gets enhanced to a second degree felony. You're looking at 20 years in prison and you're not eligible for probation. So that's what we'll do. We'll set that first. Is that what everybody wants? That's what the plan is? That what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
That you don't want to try? Then there are no deals with me. You let a jury make that decision. I know, we're gonna test him before I do the next thing. You're gonna sit over there in the penalty box. And note this, we're gonna try that one, try to get that one as fast as possible. I want a jury to make a ruling on that one. Taylor Neville. That's Mr. Wilkerson. Taylor Neville.
Judge, can we file a motion to withdraw on that?
Okay, 25 CO 1417 is called. Is that you, Taylor
Yes, sir.
Neville?
Yes, sir.
And you're charged with this state jail felony of injury to a child, looks like,
No, it's injury to an elderly judge.
then by assistant. A disabled individual. Yeah, that's the way it's. A disabled individual, doesn't say, elderly, disabled, which carries with it up to 2 years in the state jail. You understand? Who was the relationship to this? What's the relationship to this lady?
She.
To the defendant? What's the relationship?
It was a finding at a job that I just
Oh,
started.
I see.
I
Oh,
was at
okay.
that job no more than a month.
Okay. So, do you have any prior convictions?
No, sir.
What are we doing on this? What are we doing? I mean, we want to go to trial and convict her and send her to prison, or is for a first time or something like this?
Judge,
What do you want to do?
what she's indicated to me is she'd like to proceed without an attorney, I believe.
No,
There's
I
an-
never seen it. I said I would like to get a course under there.
Okay.
Or are you retained?
Yes, I was. She signed the withdrawal.
Are you able to? Did you get paid?
No.
Are you able to
I
pay?
gave him a deposit. I gave him $1,100. I only spoke to him twice.
Are
which
you-
was in-
Let me ask you this. Are you employed somewhere?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay,
I'm employed at Pop House.
ma'am,
I'm employed at Pop House on
how
call.
much do you make? Is that the only income you have?
I got my son disability check. Yes, sir. That's the only two incomes I
Your
have.
son disability check
Yes, sir.
doesn't go, it doesn't, it goes to his maintenance.
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you make at the top
I
office?
make $11 an hour.
Okay, that's.
With 25,
That's
30
20, a full-time job?
No, part-time.
And what you need to do is fill out an indigent form. There it is, fill that out. If I declare you indigent, then we'll get somebody else appointed and send this to trial. That's what we'll do. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Brandon LaFleur.
Good morning, Your Honor. We just thought it was actually for the call, earlier. I have a copy of it if you'd like to see it.
This is going on 2 years and now we're withdrawing. Why? What's up?
Well, I've been, yes, and I've been retained, I think the obligations that I couldn't meet the obligation that he had for me. His appeals.
Or do you have any income at all?
Yes.
Of what? How much do you make and how much do you make?
I make 19.
20?
Yes.
Okay, that's 40 grand a year. That's 2,000 hours. That's way.
I just recently got this job. I've been behind on a lot of stuff. That's why I've been able to keep the pages
Where are you
rolling.
on us?
I mean,
Are you
yeah.
wait, is he way behind?
The only payment that he made was the initial one, and maybe it's a $500 payment after that, but this has been going on for a year and I've been very patient.
You? I'm the patient one. We're going on 2 years.
And I don't believe, did you have an attorney prior to me? No. Okay, well, I've been on the case, I think, for 11 months. I've had three settings. So,
And we're about to try number 610. I mean, we can only try one at a time, as everybody knows, and that's what we do. Okay. Well, you need to fill out a form, an indigent form, and I'll review it and determine whether it fits the rules so that an attorney can be appointed to represent. But this will go to trial real fast because this is way too old.
yes.
Way too old. Unless there's, does he have a prior conviction? Jancy, you know?
I don't believe so.
I don't see it.
Have y'all talked about resolving this without the need of a trial? If he doesn't have any prior convictions so that we don't have to go through this? Have you talked to him about it, about whether that can be resolved?
We really haven't gotten,
Please,
we haven't gotten further down the road.
why don't we try to see what can happen right now, okay? See if you don't got something that can be resolved right now. We just putting that back into the shelf in this county is like going into the twilight zone.
I mean, the offer is 6 years TDCJ, so.
Well, see if that is changeable. I don't know, but it's injured the child. So that's shoving the child out of a moving vehicle. What happened? What was that?
Judge, I'm covering this case for someone else, so.
Oh, that's pretty disturbing. It's not a debate, but let me just say the grand jury, it's not my decision. A grand jury found this to be true by probable cause. So it's not a debate between you and me, but the grand jury heard evidence and made a decision. And there's the indictment right there. Carries with it up to 10 years in prison. It's very disturbing.
It appears there was a physical altercation between the defendant and his girlfriend, which I believe is the child's grandmother. And then when the grandmother either got out of the car because of the physical altercation between the two of them, it left the granddaughter in the car, and the allegations that the defendant threw the child out of the car while it was moving.
Says the child's face was damaged.
And it says that was consistent with road rash.
All right. Tell me what y'all want to do, and then if not, y'all can't resolve it, you fill out an indigent form, and then it'll get put on the trial docket. Okay, thank you. That is all. We are process on this. We're getting these people done. Don't talk to me until the test. Did you already get the test? They'll tell me what the results are. All right, we're in a recess. Get ready for trial. Yeah.
One minute.
Yes.
This way.
So, this happened this morning and,
What's that?
it's a tooth. So now I've got a big hole in my gum, so I'm trying to get all of my dentist.
I just did that last week. A cap comes off. And if it's a good dentist, you probably have a good dentist. You can live with it until then, and then they'll put glue on it, and then it'll last for another 5 years until it comes off again. That's the way it works.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Just there it is. I did that.
Yeah, it's got.
I did it last week, and I was in the middle of a trial when that thing popped out.
Okay.
So I can feel your pain, but there was no pain, and it's a cap. I can see it's a cap, and they have that magic glue, but you got to go to your dentist and just
The tooth is.
don't chew anything sharp until you get to the dentist, and But they have miracle glue and it'll last for years until it comes off again. Who's everybody in the crowd? Anybody else have a case pending or is this the folks for the trial? Y'all here for the trial? Is that right?
Go family, refund. Right.
If we can tell the jury, we're gonna need about another 15 or 20 minutes. Thank you very much.
Exact. That was a good teaching. But
No.
Is that a beer?
Yep. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I just paid to get hurt. Mostly scary. That's all the stuff.
For missing work today. Yes.
There are, no. There are also the said something said, well, you can get it, you got it, so we follow back, you know. We follow them to your state times, to see everything, the board goes to. Boy, Jackson, let's say, it's from the, there's all good material stuff. Yeah, today.
And check it out.
But I'm up here doing this time. I'll give you home first time. My mom says, still walk with Carolyn, worried about it.
Okay, on this one, Ms. Taylor, do you solemnly swear that all the contents of this affidavit are indigent are all true and correct? So help
Yes, sir.
God.
Yes, sir.
All right, here. File with the record and an attorney will be appointed to represent you. Okay. Back, Brent, can you talk to this lady? Can you let him look at the file real quick? I think this is one of those that's probably disposable, but just check it out and see where you want to head. That's Mr. Turk. He's one of the public defenders. Very smart guy. Jury is on. Everybody in the
And it's figuring right now.
Okay.
I believe it's not, yeah.
They're generally pretty prompt. Doctor's working hard in there today. We are in a short recess standby. All right. Okay, we've got some, let me see some files. I'm gonna need three of them. Thank you very much. Okay, Glenn Cunningham, come on up. You failed. Look, you got marijuana in your
I
system.
just had got.
I'm sorry, I was speaking. You get a chance to speak, Mr. Budinsky. No, you failed the test for tetrahydrocannabinol. Marijuana is in your system and that is a controlled substance and that violates a condition of bond. What is Glenn's bond? I'm disappointed on this one. 15 and 5? You got two cases. Driving while intoxicated and illegal possession of a controlled substance. Now, this controlled substance charge was a cocaine. Now you're into marijuana. And you tested positive. Your bonds in each of these cases are revoked and they are doubled. The 15 is now 30 and the 5 is now 10. Plus you must have continue to have a drug patch as a condition of bond. And this, listen. Who was you? Did you have an attorney on this?
Don.
Don? Yeah, tell Don about it. And then it's reset for, what did he ask for, Tom?
He said 4 weeks. We have another.
4 weeks. Okay, all right. All right. That's the findings on your case, Mr. Cunningham. You're placed in custody.
But I was wrong, but up 2-3 weeks ago, it should still be in my system. How does that work?
Sir,
I was wrong.
it's in your system. Shame on you.
It's
It's in your system. It's in your system. Shame on you. That's the findings of the court. That's it. Violated your condition of bond. Next is David, Christopher Salinas. Where's? Yeah, you're Christopher Salinas?
That's
Who are you?
my name.
Okay, Christopher Salinas. Where's his file? I don't have his file.
So different last name.
Like my real name.
No, you gave the wrong one.
You are indicted as Christopher Salinas, correct?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on, don't
No,
act
no, no.
like I can't believe. How do you think you did on this test?
I did not do that.
No, you absolute failure. Yeah. You tested positive for THC marijuana. You tested positive for methamphetamine. And to round out the field, you tested positive for amphetamines. That's 3 strikes, you were out.
No, but what else? What are
Your bond is revoked. It is $50,000. Plus you must have a drug patch as a condition of your bond. We will alert your attorney about this so we can come talk to you and see about how you can fix this mess. But you are free falling. You are free falling.
I can promise.
And I'm sorry, I was speaking. You'll get a chance to speak. We can't both speak. The lady here can't take down when two people are speaking over each other. Let me just tell you, methamphetamine is a felony offense, and the district attorney, it's in your system, you're possessing it. And the district attorney will be looking into that as adding another felony charge to this. And that's what's normally done. Shame on you for that. So that's the orders of the court, and you were taken into custody and your attorney will be eluded. Ernest Thomas,
Now speak. So
what do you have to say?
I just want to tell the court that my name is John Ray Begosh. I've been missing since 1982. I just want a DNA test so that while I'm in prison, I'm under my real name and maybe my mother's could come and visit me. But I have nobody that supports me. I've been.
How did you get indicted under a different name? I'm sorry. Huh? Oh, he was kidnapped as a child. Okay. Does your attorney know all of that?
Didn't have time to speak to him.
Well, you didn't have time. He's been your attorney for a while, huh?
No, this was down their first meeting too.
Did you talk to it? Well, tell him all of that.
I just talked to him briefly.
Tell him, well, he'll go and see you and tell him all of that.
I mean, I tried to tell the jail system that I was abducted as a kid, but they were telling me that I'm trying to get out of this case. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to get out of the case.
You got first of all this is going to be based on the credibility of you. You just got tested for 3 drugs. 2 of those are crimes. 2 of those are felonies. So you're going to have a lot of, credibility issues on this, but you need to tell your lawyer that's confidential between you and your lawyers, and then he will help navigate you through this mess. But this first thing is you're loaded with illegal drugs, and whatever goes come out of your mouth is not really credible at this stage when you're loaded with drugs. Anything else? That's all. You're in custody.
Because
we'll take care of these problems.
That's why I said.
Did they shoot you with drugs, sir, and cause you to test positive for methamphetamine from a child? Okay, thank you. You can't make this stuff up. This is like, we need to start that one with Once Upon a Time, blank. Ernest Thomas. We need Ernest. I think they put him in custody. We need him out. Please. Is that Ernest yours? Yeah. Yeah, he adulterated his test.
He's the one. Oh, sorry.
His urine came out ice cold and clear. Normally it's 98.6 degrees, which the way nature intended it to be, but his came out 30 degrees and in chunks.
He was nervous.
He's very hydrated.
Nervous and a little chilly back there.
We're about to bring the jury in here right after this. Okay. They're going to be, okay. They can sit on your lap. Ernest Thomas, come on. Where's his phone? Miles, Ernest, we caught you in a miraculous situation where your urine came out ice cold and clear, and it should have been 98.6 degrees or close to it. And you've obviously adulterated or bogus the test. So your bonds are what on each of these 3 cases? 23 in what? Okay, that's the sex offender registration failure.
The construction is 8,500.
The first one's 15.
Yes.
And then the final 26 CR 465 illegal possession of a controlled substance. I'm sorry.
7,500.
All right. Okay, the $15,000 bond is doubled to 30. 8,500 is doubled to 17,000. And the 7,500 is doubled to $15,000. And there will be a drug patch as a condition of your bond. And who is your attorney? Brent. All right. Talk to him about what his next directions are. We've set this for an announcement for a few weeks, I think, didn't we?
This tax kid was on the, there's another case was set for trial, but I'm guessing that they're going to move for a new case. Into these allegations.
So it is a crime to attempt to defraud the TEB, but it's up to them, but let's review it. We're going to review it in 3 weeks, see where it is. You're taken into custody. That is all. Thank you. All right, let's get ready for trial.
I don't.
I think it was reset early.
He said it wrong.
Jansen? Can you talk to her about the reset? Okay. What are we doing?
He's not, he rejected the situation.
Okay, just put a pillar.
Yeah. Okay, I have one and they just push it through and the other work, but.
Okay, and it's set for trial. It's set for trial.
Would you like it first?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Judge.
And your guy was who?
Brandon LaFlorence.
Okay. Okay, great.
I mean, thank you. I mean, it's moderated.
Everybody ready on this trial? We need a defendant?
Yes.
They come in handy? In a trial?
Mike, can you fix it?
Sure.
I put the other one in.
Are you on doing that?
Have very good.
He does, he's just saying no. Here is the drug screen results on hers. It's 3 failures out of 3. Gosh.
Very, I talk about some.
Oh, sorry, okay.
So, we need more Charles.
Just keep them.
That's what I get, I switch hands or one of them. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
The camera on the witness needs to be turned clockwise about 10 degrees. That's, well, the other one, I'm talking about the witness.
We needed to fix this.
This one was wrong.
Over.
Everything looks good except Mr. Wilkerson is out of focus, but that's the way he normally looks.
You need this one?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like, you
Yeah, we can lower it a little.
Once I get through,
Looks good. Thank you. Yes, sir. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
You're hidden, Ada, but we have got you. That's fine.
Yeah, just no, just.
Yeah, I think
It
I'm
was
doing everything else. I'm just
Yeah,
trying
you
to
move
make
it.
sure.
Get that out of the way. There you go. All right. All right, we need a defendant.
Yeah.
Mr. Battles.
Became alive again.
Yeah, I need a minute.
Okay.
You just I understand. Gotcha.
Did you try the video thing? Is it working?
Mhm. Pauline.
There is, Cunningham's resetting.
Hmm. I'm sure it does. There's somebody moving 7 here than I know of. One of them's for the murder, one's in state jail, and one got his bag. You know, everybody there, that was probably another one, but it should. It's not gonna be, that's fact. That's part of this. Maybe that's some of it. It could be. You're gone. He said, Leno, we're talking to Jimmy during the trial. That happened to me. What did that look for? What are you looking for? You look ready now. Oh, you ready? Well, good. Trying to be helpful here. Before. You need to experience.
No, I was married, they was going on his hour speech.
Where'd Marcus go?
Decided to follow the judge. Natural. Huh? You still on?
You.
Yeah, we got
Like someone was someone before the start. So that's pretty amazing. All the time, looking, what's saying here. You what? What do you need, book first?
Yeah. We now call cause number 23 CR 156, the state of Texas versus Jaron Battles. The defendant is present with his attorney and the state's attorneys. Anything to bring up before we bring the jury in? State defense.
Judge, I would like to invoke the rule, I guess. I need to do that before we get started.
We can do it when we get a bailiff in here.
Yes, sir. Right. We should have. Yeah, should have.
Thank you, Jim.
We tried.
Since you're up, don't get to do it.
Ready? All right, parties are ready. Let's bring the jury in. Thank you.
You said my text 12 times. I'm sorry. My text 12 times. Just sit here, just sit. Look at me. You want somebody to sit there and study with? Yeah, you that, right? What are you trying to do? I got one job. Trying to get somebody at the table looking television. Wow. You're not good.
At least they're so self-deprecating them right there.
Record shall show that the jury is seated in the courtroom. All parties are present. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. It's like a box of chocolates in this room. You don't know what you're going to get. And we had some issues that came up during this docket that had to be dealt with, and you probably saw some officials coming in and out of the room. Those matters have been taken care of. Now we can focus on this trial. And the first thing we're going to do is swear all of you in as jurors in this case. So please raise your right hands. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that in the case of the state of Texas versus Jaron Battles, that you will a true verdict render according to the law and the evidence, so help you God? Lower your hands. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, by the oath that you have just taken as jurors, you have now become officials of this court and active participants in the public administration of justice, which is a great honor in a democratic republic where we, the people, get to make important decisions under the law. If at any time you cannot clearly hear the proceedings, please raise your hand. I want to make sure that you can hear clearly the testimony from that witness and also see evidence as it is being presented here in the gallery in this courtroom during the trial. No one may discuss this case with you during your service as jurors until you go back to deliberate amongst yourselves. And likewise, don't feel offended if you happen to run into the attorneys in the hallway or in the elevator and they do little more than nod to you. To maintain the integrity of the jury system, the law prohibits them from speaking with you about this case until the end of the trial. At the end of the trial, they always like to get input and feedback from jurors if you wish to do that. If someone does contact you or tries to contact you about this case while you are jurors, report that at once to one of our bailiffs, please. And also do not discuss the evidence in this case with your fellow jurors until the end when you go back to deliberate together. And when people know you are jurors, they want to ask you, what can you tell me? And be very careful about speaking with others, including your spouse, significant other, your friends, and you are held to this confidentiality until the end of the trial when you are discharged from jury service, and then you are free to discuss this case and your experience with others. And also be very careful about reading newspaper articles, watching television reports, or listening to radio reports if they discuss this trial while you are jurors. Mute the sound, turn the channel, turn the page. Again, we don't want you to get any outside information other than what is presented here in this courtroom. Now, sometimes jurors like to take notes, and if you choose to do so, those are for your purposes only. You are not allowed to show them. Look at my notes to fellow jurors. I wrote this down. You can only use those to refresh your own memory and recollection of what you may recorded. Of course, in a deliberation, if you take notes, you can refer silently to the notes, and then you might say something. I believe the witness said blank, but you can't go, look what I wrote, everybody, because that would be introducing some form of an exhibit or something into the jury room when it wasn't introduced. But again, you can refresh your own recollection and then pass that information on to others if necessary. Now, do not go to any of the locations referred to by the witnesses in this case, nor perform any type of individual investigation of the facts on your own. You will receive all the evidence necessary in your deliberations here in the courtroom. And likewise, don't look in books, encyclopedias, or dictionaries, or go to the library or review courthouse records in order to obtain information over and above what is presented to you during the trial. Please listen carefully to the testimony, as I know you will. If any testimony needs to be reread or reviewed when you are in the deliberations at the end of this case, you send me a note, and then we get to the particular passage that the court reporter, Ada here, who types 300 words a minute, an incredible thing. She is great at what she does. We can get that portion of the testimony reviewed and then placed into a typewritten form, and then you can review that. Do not ask for a transcript of the whole trial. That won't happen. But you can get individual portions if you can describe to the court clearly what you disagree about. Now, your oath states that you will render a verdict only on the evidence submitted to you under the court's legal rulings, and the evidence you will consider may be from the testimony of witnesses and also the introduction of items of evidence, which we call exhibits. And these could be documents or physical objects. During the trial, attorneys make objections. And when that happens, it's necessary for the court to rule on it. People ask me, what have you done in your life that helps you do your job as a juror? And I tell them 10 years as a basketball official. And there's so much similarity. You have to know the rules. You have to apply them fairly. There's just not 1,000 people shouting at you every time you blow the whistle. But nonetheless, there's a lot of similarity between those two. When an objection is made, I must rule on it. And let's just say an objection is made to a question of a witness. If I sustain the objection, then the witness will not be able to answer that question. But it could be asked in a different way that meets with the rules. And we have a lot of rules that we deal with that have been compiled here for jury trials, and especially in criminal trials. Criminal laws are essentially based around the penal code, which has the general information and shows the elements of most criminal cases. Then drug cases, because drug cases constitute 1/3 of our criminal caseload. That's in a special Controlled Substances Act. And there are some other parts of laws that deal with specialized criminal cases, but that's the substantive law. Then procedure is based in the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, and that dictates how a case properly and legally moves through the system from the very beginning to the end. And then at trial, we use maybe most often the Texas Rules of Evidence. And this is the book that dictates how evidence is properly admitted and asserted in a trial, because you just don't go, here's a pen, judge, we admit it, we want to admit it. That's not going to happen that way. Anything, any exhibit or evidence that is moved for admission must pass a test of relevance. It must be related to the matters at hand. It also must be reliable. And sometimes the rules of evidence have the evidentiary factors that dictate what sort of steps must be accomplished so that an item of evidence is introduced. And then if there's an objection on a question, if I sustain the objection, again, it won't be answered, but it could be asked in a different way that meets within the rules of evidence that the court can properly approve. I'm very sensitive about the rules of evidence. I wrote these. I was on the rules of evidence committee that wrote this. So the court's sensitive about the way that is done. And if an objection is made to its admissibility of a question and an answer, if I overrule the objection, the answer will be made. And then once evidence is presented for you to consider, you can give it how much weight and credibility you deem it deserves. And that is your special privilege. That is your right. That is what the jury is all about. As you listen intently, taking all of this in. Each of you determines the facts of this case as you see and hear them. You evaluate the credibility of the witnesses and decide how much weight and value to be given the testimony. In considering the weight and the value of the testimony of witnesses, you may consider their appearance, their attitude, their behavior, their interest in the outcome of the case, their relationship to the defense or the state, the inclination and probability and improbability of witnesses' statements. And most importantly, because you don't ever get all the information possible in any case. The law states you can plug up gaps of information by using common sense. And it's described under the law as you can draw reasonable inferences from the statements of witnesses. And that's how you fill in gaps, because you're not going to get a video of the event completely. Even when you have a video, there's always a contention. Well, The camera was over here. If it would have been over here, there would have been a different outlook and perception of the events. There's always a but and an if and gaps in evidence in every case. And that's why the law built in, we believe jurors will use their common sense, their life's experiences, their education to fill in the gaps using reasonable inferences. You can use all other factors you feel will help you in giving the degree of credibility that testimony and evidence deserves.
Is it just pointing to the front of your car to show what's going on? Because you have the body cam, that's where all the sound comes. So whenever you were there that night and you had to stop the black Sprint van, was your car camera working that night?
Yes, it was.
And matter of fact, on State's Exhibit 1, did you watch that also in my office?
I do.
And does that fairly and accurately depict what happened that evening,
Yes.
that morning? Attender State's Exhibit 1. No objection, Your Honor.
It is admitted.
Permission to publish.
That is granted. Thanks, Kendall. Thanks. We'll turn the lights down, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see better.
Yeah, it's private property. Why are they allowed to come on here like this?
You need private property signs up.
It's posted. We even have like
Yeah,
ordering.
yeah, no towing and stuff, no parking, but it's open. It's open street. I mean, you have people everywhere.
I mean, I know for a fact that there's more people in that building than they're supposed to be. I mean, that's a given.
We have pushed up our concerns to the top, and the people that are a lot more important than I am are looking into it. I'm not gonna affect.
I had to call into Jason and he called me and I missed the call.
Jason,
Well,
okay.
yeah, so I mean, I actually had to start something sick, and I'm not gonna call him because he's hour behind me.
So we've pushed up to our special assignment unit.
Sir, you can't park over here, they're gonna tell you.
Oh, I'm about to go get myself, I'm about to leave. I shouldn't get told before I get myself.
And hey, if it comes back, it's not there, that's on you, bro.
Somebody's in my phone, I don't know what I do.
Not sure if the rules are on that. Anyway, next, I've pushed my concerns up. I've populated calls out here, shop fire calls, intoxication calls, to everything. So
So why is it just being ignored? Don't think what the money have on this.
it's not being ignored. There's just different ways to go about different things. And the way to go about this one is to kill it all at once. It's like we did the other one on 11th Street.
Yeah, he started that, another one. The lounge on, yeah, he started
I
that.
think the Club Ecstasy ones. But you know how it is whenever they close up shop, they open up a new LLC and they're back in business in a week.
I know for a fact that he's selling to underage individuals. I know.
I've called with TABC, they're aware, they're doing everything on that end. I've pushed my complaints up, they're doing things on their end. If you wanna keep yanking cars, you're well within your rights as a property manager to do something. Yeah, it's terrible, I hate that here, because this kid keeps.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my residents are complaining to me. But there was a gunshot the other day. It's just crazy.
Oh, we had multiple streets up, multiple streets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough. I mean, I've evicted 184 people out of this complex because it was riprap. You know, I mean, we literally just took over a year ago. You know, it's hard to still get it where it needs to be.
Yeah, earlier I went, I told three young ladies that pulled in, hey, you can't park there, they're gonna tow your car, and they do have no problem, but.
Yeah, well, they went down and parked in my parking lot, down underneath the.
Oh, so, yeah.
Yeah, so I told them, I said, you can't do that, and they're like. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want people to have a good time, but this is just ridiculous. You know, I mean, they need to be out like on Bennett Road where there's nobody around. You know what I'm saying? Go do your thing. This is too close to.
Yeah. I would talk to the city council. I'm sure they're well aware of our concerns, but I've pushed it up, like I said. We've all, my bosses, my boss's bosses have been on here, we've all been here,
Right.
so we've all had to deal with them.
I've got it. Mike gets his phone number.
Hmm?
I mean, his personal cell. I've got AJ Turner's. It's just,
Take some pictures and send to them in the morning, not now.
I want to just send it to him now. Say, see what our people are having to go through.
Have them
And
come
I've
back.
been taking a video. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
This is mild, compared to someone else.
Yeah. I mean, they're out here cutting really.
We respond to at least probably 20 calls a week out here. Or like 3 days. So, I don't know, I pushed that things to CABC, I'm not sure if the liquor license is legal, if it's illegal, how it's selling past two. Like, I've got questions, so.
So that had well been turned in.
We pushed it up. Believe it or not, actually, he's a legal security guard. I arrested a security guard across the street. That was a not really a security guard. I think as long as people out there about Ace. So, yeah, have people down, wearing a uniform.
Park here and just. So then my residents have to hear these drunken people coming in and out. And all this crap.
Where's Molly go? Yeah, to the county way. Okay. Yeah, call. Everybody call. You can't turn the phone to a car, right? Is that the rule? That's the rule.
Okay, can you go tow cars that's down here that I know for a fact are not mine? You can move them all.
I got somebody walking back and forth. I'm like, what's one of the doors open?
Been like disrespectful. I had an older man connecting to my car, like, you run the way. I'm like, you got to.
Let's give me at least one more.
I mean, look.
You know how they got coming? We can walk down there and tell them, hey, you're trespassing. And see if they can move, but. One touching.
We're probably no towing some.
Have there been any complaints about noise or anything out here, D-Money's tonight? Is it? What?
She wear rain.
Yeah, hammer down.
Can't tell me if they're.
I'm not sure if it's actually a bar, if they're selling stuff, or if it's like a BYOB and they give you like the slushy and stuff, you got your liquor, or?
No, they sell daiquiris, and right now they're giving like free Jello shots out right now. Yes, ma'am. I mean, seeing it like firsthand, being here with all this, I mean, people are actually working on that. People should be working on, we should just be working. I'm sorry, what is your name, officer?
Errol.
I'm with officer.
Inside the bar? Are you in here?
Oh,
You gonna work?
oh, no.
Out?
Oh, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, what she's doing though, but I think that she's a good lady, and that silver right behind me, she's the manager, and she's like, telling everyone's parking around, so be parking. There you go.
Yes, sir.
You said that. You never been here before? You never been here before?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I manage this property.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it.
See like this, yeah.
Yeah, never. Never. I should buy.
The problem is on our end, like, I've got nothing right now to actually shut them down.
Right.
Because citizens aren't complaining. Hey, stop! Oh, red light, please stop. That's all them.
How long does it take to get that car?
Yeah, he's gonna tow that car.
Oh, okay.
Adam? Hey, right now, probably they gotta tell you next. Be safe. Hey, my parties, he's gonna sit there, but.
Officer, just for the jury's edification, that strip back behind there, is that where D Money Daiquiris is?
Yes,
That's where all the cars are, all the people are?
yes.
Okay.
The manager wants them gone, so. Probably gonna. Yeah, too. Computers are all ready. About part again?
Yeah, you. No, no, no.
I didn't mean, what do you see over there? Did that black man is moving towards us, that's you, yeah. All right, take off, take off. Well, you gonna take it?
Yeah.
Right. Sounds good.
One of the big.
Go ahead, go ahead. All right, now.
Drive, roll your window down and throw the keys out the window.
Throw anything down, throw anything down. Like keys, where you
Throw the keys. Driver, open the door, show me both your hands.
Hold the hoodie, Barry, hold the hoodie in front pocket. And he put in the hoodie, Barry, hey, go in the hoodie.
Driver, step out of the vehicle. Driver, walk towards my sound. Do not turn around. Walk towards me. Walk back to the vehicle. Everybody, backwards. You know what? Everybody stop. Get on your knees. Everybody lay down on your face. Everybody. That means everybody. On your stomach. On your stomach.
You go with it, Pat.
You may well, stand up.
You got 14 photos.
You the yellow and the purple. The woman in the purple.
What you gonna do from my head?
Yeah, you.
It's not become the base of the head, so we got 14.
Come here. Are you a purple? Hands on my hood. Hands on my hood. No. Sit down. You are. What's on you? What's on you? Yeah. Sit down.
Trying to do something. Look, I do my personal shop.
There.
I can work here.
Yeah, very nice. You will not walk away from this thing.
I can get my idea on there. Over towards the,
I can get my idea. Where?
Does anyone yet know behind the walk on there?
Hey there.
Look. There was 30 to 40.
I know. I found that cool buzzer. Can I get my ID? Hey there. Hey. Well, I have the guys in the red upstairs and walking back, okay? No, I will take yours. No, you don't. I'm trying to get out of here. You don't see this? Get out of here. Get back in the jail.
Alright. What's she doing?
She was in the vehicle and she wasn't ready to follow directions on the well.
Come here.
Turn around. Thank you. Hang on, was she in the car? You said she's in the car.
Alright. Wait, I'm gonna put you, I'm gonna put you up. I'll do it. What are you doing there?
Hang on.
I heard we're
You're not driving straight.
We got about 15 on the ground.
You're not driving
That's
straight
the only
there.
point, but there's party being also.
Okay, you gotta leave this scene. It's very dangerous.
Yesterday was this trial ain't going nowhere either. We're still trying to work this. It's all falling, it's all falling. What we
Officer, is that one of the shooters that you saw that's backing up right now in the red and white?
Yes.
And that person, do you know who that person turned out to be, what his name was?
Yes, it's Mr. Battles.
And do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Can you point to and describe something he's wearing?
Yes, he's wearing black. His hair is longer now than it was. Glasses.
Record reflect he's identified the defendant.
Yes, it will.
Well, I did one did. I'm right here about saying, you want me, tell her the anybody, you want me to stop off here and wait for this, thing, control here. Get that. Whatever. 411, I'm approaching, where y'all maybe. Help over here across from Beaumont High. They were trying to work to take down and got a large crowd interference. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. East or west or from the north. The only thing down facing south towards the Exxon Mobil. Hey, Carl. I got a rifle in the back of the line. Oh, good. All right. I'm just going over here. Yeah, go. Duval, if you can hear, come around over here. We're using another officer. You think she might be tired? Second. I am 10 bucks a piece. 441, I'll be right there in a second. I'm at Alder and I can head to y'all's way.
Why does this take so long? Why can't y'all just walk up to them while they land on the ground and just put cuffs on them, like I see in the movies?
It's a good way to get killed. It's
Do you
just
know
unsafe.
who's armed?
No, that's why you bring them back one at a time, search them for the cuffs.
Yeah, officers walking up, trying to grab a patrol car and bring it over here. Building names over here, churches, keep the parking lot. Building take down south towards the Exxon Mobil from Sealand side. Officer clerk. Cool.
Yeah, I think that like, street walking around that ground, remember he had a gun on there. Well, you need somebody with you? Guys, it's one guy over here is, three fire. But I'm good for now until you guys get that cleared up. Thursday, still have about 5 on the ground, working hard.
Keep walking, my boys. Keep walking. Don't look at me. Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. Stop.
That's the last of them?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Right here?
No, it's in my body, that's all I'm trying to
Where you got it?
It's in my hand, it's like in my leg,
Your leg?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Did you shut it down there? Or?
No, it had still, I had, what's it, okay, to get these flavors, I know, it's okay.
Where you from?
We from Fort. That's my story, it's my good.
What's your name?
Okay, that's my wallet.
What's your name? Brian?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right here. Yeah, it's full.
So all these lights back here, are they all police officers?
No,
What are they doing there?
they're coming to hang out.
So all those cars back behind where y'all have guns pointed are not police officers,
No,
just onlookers.
you wouldn't want to be there as a police officer. Or you'd avoid.
And to this day, you know who two of the shooters are, right?
Yes.
But you don't know whether there were more shooters, do you?
No,
So with all these cars around there, how safe do you feel?
it's not very. It's not a great feeling.
You told me something today that you're glad that you had all that other officers show up after the shooting, right?
Yes.
You work in Jasper County now, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you get this kind of situation, are you usually alone for a while?
Always alone. Anybody else inside that van? No one else is in there. I got you, Tom.
The last one that came back.
Yes, sir.
How many of them were in the van? Do you remember?
I believe 14. He said there's no one else inside the vehicle. Hey.
What's going on right now?
Now we believe the vehicle is empty. We have to make sure the vehicle is empty. So I've taken cover with a longer weapon, and those officers approaching with weapons, oftentimes with a shield, they're going to go up to the vehicle and verify that the vehicle is in fact empty.
You know, the money in the middle of the issue, whatever you do, it's 6550 feeling, 6550 feeling. Because of the time.
403 dispatch.
Okay.
We got about 15 detained from that black Mercedes party van. Multiple weapons in plain view. The van is secure for now. We're trying to clear this parking lot out. We can start working this thing.
Okay.
So was anybody else in the van?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna switch, just for the record, I'm gonna switch over to the front car video, just to kind of show what just happened. But I'll do it a little quicker. So, looking at this video in safety exhibit 1, is this the front of your car?
Yes,
And is it facing toward, what's it facing towards?
it's facing towards the plaza where the business is located. Everybody's at. That's the silver vehicle that I was speaking to the woman in.
Yeah. And so that's where the apartment manager was?
Yes,
And over here, what's over here?
that's the crowd.
Okay. Can you see, you can't see the van yet, can you?
No,
This is after the shooting though, right?
yes. This is not a minute before my camera turns on.
You see people scattering?
Yes.
How many of them stayed behind to talk to y'all?
I never made it back. To the plaza, I do not know.
Okay. Okay. Coming out right there, what is that?
That's the black Mercedes van we pulled over.
That's the van that y'all stop.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's coming out from the middle of the parking lot over here. Or actually,
Is that a question?
what road is this, officer?
That's Preston.
Okay, and what's over here?
That's the apartment complex.
And over here is. Yes, okay. So,
There's multiple businesses there, but none of them are open at the time.
so if I'm looking at this, where's Phelan Road?
It was to your left,
Okay.
all the way on the left.
Can you see in those windows?
No,
They passed a few driveways where they could have just pulled in, couldn't they?
yes, they could just stop on the road. Would have been preferable for us.
Who's that?
That is the juvenile that ran.
This is where y'all start taking them out one at a time.
Yes, that was the female that I had walked to me. In the purple.
Speed this up a little. Let me ask you this, Give me 1 second, let me get to the point. This person right here getting up. If you do it for this pattern. This gentleman here getting up in the red,
Yes,
do you recognize the clothing he's wearing and the build and everything about him?
yes.
And who is that?
Where it's my court. That's gonna be Armani Wallace.
And why is that important that you recognize him?
Because he was the other person suspected in the shooting, we were able to control.
So this is one of the shooters.
Yes.
Okay. And then when I get him back. Who is that gentleman right there?
Mr. Battles.
That's the defendant you identified earlier today.
Yes,
And why is it important that you identified him? Was
he's the other suspected shooter.
okay, suspected shooter? Was he? Did you see him shoot?
Yes.
Okay. I know that they teach you terms and things. Was that one of the people you saw shooting?
Yes.
Okay.
It's also important to note that we don't know at this point if they belong to the group. When we just jumped in the van, if the group's aware of these people, we don't know what's going on specifically.
Anybody else you see dressed like that?
No,
So the young man, the ran. I'm about to get to a breaking point, right? The young man that ran. Where did he head off towards?
get out towards World Gym.
Okay. And you saw him running over there and the officer chasing after him?
Yes.
Let me show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 6, which is a security video. Does it fairly accurately depict that young man running across the parking lot and officer chasing?
Yes, it does.
Interstate 66. No objection. Admitted. Judge approach.
Say it again.
Approach bench.
Come on out. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break for lunch. Can all of you return back at 1:15? 1:15, gives you an hour and 15 minutes. Please report back outside. Please, everybody sit down out in the crowd. Please
sit down,
Sit down, please.
pay attention. Thank you.
Sit down, sir.
We've got rules and you got to follow them so that everything can work properly and smoothly. The jury gets to move out at the beginning and then come in. They are very important people. They are the most important in this case. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please remember the instructions that the court has given to you. We'll see you back at 1:15. Everybody else remain seated while the jury exits first. Thank you. Anything to bring up by the parties, state, defense?
No, Your Honor.
We're in recess. Thank you.
I'll see you. Sorry.
In this dramatic courtroom trial, jurors are shown body camera footage and surveillance video from a chaotic shooting investigation that left officers facing a dangerous and uncertain situation. The testimony focuses on the moments immediately after gunfire erupted, as law enforcement officers rush to secure the scene, identify potential suspects, and determine whether additional shooters were still nearby. Prosecutors play video footage showing officers carefully approaching vehicles and individuals while maintaining cover. The witness explains that officers could not simply rush in because they had no way of knowing who was armed, who was involved, or whether more gunfire could break out at any moment. The testimony paints a picture of a rapidly evolving scene where officer safety and public safety were the top priorities. As the footage continues, the courtroom hears detailed explanations about how officers secured a van connected to the investigation. Witnesses describe how multiple law enforcement units arrived to assist and how officers systematically removed individuals, searched the area, and cleared vehicles to ensure there were no hidden threats. The witness acknowledges that at the time, officers still did not know exactly how many people were involved or whether additional suspects had escaped. Jurors are then shown surveillance footage from the area, which prosecutors use to identify individuals allegedly connected to the incident. During testimony, the witness points out people seen on the video and explains why certain individuals became important to the investigation. The prosecution focuses heavily on movements captured on camera, arguing that the footage helps establish who was present and where people were located during critical moments of the incident.